Hey guys, what's up, Redactions here and welcome back to a brand new video. Today is an exciting one that I personally have been waiting for a very long time. Because RYZEN Studio finally released their Formula RSS 2013. And as you guys can tell by the name and by the car on your screen, it is based on the F1 cars from 2013. And specifically the Red Bull. Before I say anything else about this car, let's let the first hot lap I ever did with this thing speak for itself. Wow, doesn't that just make you miss these V8 cars? For me, it definitely is the case. Now, before we dive into the main review, if you guys end up enjoying this video or find it useful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. For you it's only a few clicks, but for me it means I can keep pursuing my dream of one day becoming a racing driver. Okay, back to this car now. As you know, Formula RSS 2013 is based on the Formula 1 2013 regulations. This is the last year of the low revving V8 era, which started back in 2009. If you guys have been around since back then, you'll know that this was Red Bull and Seb Vettel's golden age, because together they won both championships every year from 2010 until 2013. Also, things that are commonplace in F1 nowadays were all born in this era. Things like DRS, Pirelli tires, our current point system, the ban on refueling and ERS systems, which were quite different back then, not gonna lie, but still the same idea. Now let's talk some specs on this thing. Back in 2013, cars weighed about 640 kilograms, which is quite a bit lighter than 2021's 752 kilograms and a whole lot lighter than this year's 795 kilograms. 795, that's heavier than some small road cars. Anyway, like I said, this thing has a naturally aspirated 2.4 liter V8 engine, producing around 770 horses and revving to about 18,000 RPM. But there's a twist. Curse. Like I said, this is what the current hybrid systems were in their infancy. It charges under braking by collecting wasted kinetic energy. This is changed into electric power by engineering magic and is good for about 80 brake horsepower extra for 8 seconds per lap. Now, unlike the modern ERS systems, this is not delivered automatically but by the push of a button. You could basically think of it as an early version of an overtake button. I think the brilliant folk over at RYZEN Studio have perfectly captured the spirit of what this generation of F1 cars should feel like. RSS of course does not get any data from F1 teams to base their cars off of, and 99.99999% of customers don't know what an F1 car from 2013 is like to drive. This is pretty much the case for all of their cars, and they have done it once again with the Formula RSS 2013. I think RSS knows its place in the sim racing market as the company that produces high quality sim cars without any external data. This is just what they're destined to do right now, and they're doing a very good job at that. Now, if you've looked closely at the footage of my first hot lap I did with this thing, and if you're looking at the background footage right now, you'll immediately notice that the spirit that RSS has captured is absolutely brilliant. The way that the aerodynamics and the mechanical grip work together make this a very on-edge car which is nearly on the limit for nearly every corner you push it with. One lap you might be taking it easy and finding it very comfortable to get around, only for you to be pushing next lap and finding the car mercilessly biting back at you. Once you've gone over the limit, however, you'll have a pretty good feeling on where it actually is. For me, it was remarkably easy to find out just how hard you could push this car. The car always looks like it's on the limit, and I absolutely love it. Let me demonstrate. Also, take a listen to how realistic this car sounds. First some footage of the real Red Bull RB9. And now Formula RSS 2013. In my opinion, RSS have really stepped up their sounds over the last few months, and I'm curious to see what they will bring in the future. Now, let's talk about some things that I didn't really like about this mod. First off, the 3D model. Now, to some of you this might come as a shock, but let me explain. I'm not talking about the quality of the render, or the animations in the suspension, because that stuff is all top notch, as always. I'm talking about the fact that for some reason, the fantasy model just looks off. Now, with pretty much every car they release, they take parts from existing cars from that class and put them together. Same here. The front wing and the cockpit are very clearly taken from the Red Bull, and the nose is very clearly taken from that year's Force India. But for me, it just somehow doesn't work with this car. From some angles, this car looks great, but from the others it just looks weird. Now remember that this is completely personal and that this may not apply to you, and if it doesn't, you can ignore everything I've just said. Now something I don't like that will apply to you is the fact that this car is, in my opinion, way too forgiving with curbs. I mean, take a look at this. Now the curbs at the Nordschleife are notorious for being unforgiving, but this car, which should be nimble, nervous, light and on edge pretty much everywhere, well, it takes these big curbs like an absolute tank. It's almost better even than GT cars. Now I'm not saying that the car should instantly spin F1 2021 style, but at least there should be some negative consequences to abusing curbs like that. Another thing that I noticed is that the aerodynamic drag is a little bit too low at high speeds. These cars were known for having the worst top speed since the 1980s, and I feel like Formula RSS 2013 gets to its top speed too quickly. And last but not least, it's a pay mod and it costs €3.80. Now for me that's not necessarily a problem, because I see this as a DLC, but just not made by the original developers. But some people think that paying for mods is not something that should exist. If you are one of those people, then this mod is not for you. Now those small few things are the only real drawbacks I could find in my limited testing time. All in all, this mod is a very good addition to your AC mod library, and it's definitely worth its €3.80 price tag. I personally really like this car, always on edge, and like I said in the thumbnail, it definitely makes your heart beat faster. I'll leave a link to the car and some other cool mods that fit well with this thing in the description. I can't wait for the community to unleash their modding creativity and start making custom skins, sounds and steering wheels for this thing. I personally can't wait for a 2011 Red Bull skin and a blown diffuser sound mod. So if any of you watching can make that reality, hit me up on Discord. Talking about Discord, you should totally join my Discord server. It's filled to the brim with subscribers and we all have a big passion for F1 or just for racing in general. I'm sure you'll feel right at home there, link is in the description. Now some of the pictures you saw in this video that were taken in a showroom were taken by someone in my Discord server called Honor. Big thanks for letting me use them in this video. Also, I want to do a huge shout out to my patron on Patreon. Thank you for allowing me to race on, because if you didn't know, I race in real life as well, but I'm struggling to finance it. If you would like to support my real life racing, I would greatly appreciate it if you would check out my Patreon page. If you want to see a video about my real life kart racing, it will be on the screen right now, together with another video. But for this video, that was it. Peace.